Greetings, Lord, and welcome to the Lapis Kingdom. I am the Blue Regent, and this is the first episode in a new series focused on planning our Warcraft-themed Minecraft world in survival. This series is going to feature episodes that talk about figuring out how the terrain is going to be laid out, doing some editing of battle map from Warcraft missions, figuring out the terrain of the world, and figuring out the layout of towns, villages, and cities that will go in the world. Today's episode, we're going to be focusing on making some plans about how we're going to be changing our village to start fitting a little bit more into the Warcraft theme, and also just doing a little bit better job of planning out the village and where all of the buildings that go within it. So if you're ready, grab your notebook, grab your pen, and let's get started. In the last survival episode, we went through and moved a lot of our villagers to the caves underneath the village, trying to get a trading hall going, and so now there's a lot of these just empty houses around, and if the goal is going to be to upgrade the overall village, we're going to have to move some of these out of the way. So step one today is basically just going to be tearing things down. Now, keeping up with the theme of I'm playing Minecraft entirely differently than I normally do, I don't ever, and I probably should, but when I'm playing just this for fun, I don't spend a lot of time planning stuff out. I kind of try to build according to like how the layout of the terrain and everything is. Sometimes that works, but a lot of times it doesn't. And I'm starting to think that, this really is the way to go. A lot of people who've been building on YouTube and Minecraft for a long time, this is a thing that they do. And I find that it probably helps keep everything extremely organized and gives you constantly have like I know I need to change the level of this because something's going to go here. As I go through this series and, build different settlements and different kingdoms and that kind of stuff, I have a feeling that I might vary the volume of pre-planning that I do per settlement or per kingdom to kind of base it on, what was the thought process behind the founding of this place. So as we're doing Azeroth is kind of it's not a colony, but it's founded by people who left the Arathor Empire, and a thing that they talk about in the lore for Warcraft 2 is Stormwind militarily is the most powerful kingdom in the game. If Stormwind is a military power, that means that they kind of probably had, at least the way that I'm looking at it from my own headcanon here, is they probably had kind of a martial founding. And so once our resource gathering village is complete and I start to build actual settlements, I kind of want to go with the idea of each town and city, or at least the larger ones, were originally more like camps or like fortified encampments that over time turned into more of a just standard settlement with farms and production and that kind of stuff. One thing that always helps me keep moving forward when building in this game or playing this game is all my whys. Why am I building this? Why does this go here? And so, that's something that I've always relied on. Normally when I play this for fun, I tend to kind of just pick a spot in the mountain and dig into it and basically just make like a dwarf city. That's essentially how I play normally, because it kind of breaks up the monotony of mining to build. Basically, if I need all sorts of stone, and I'm going to need it anyways, and I need to build, why not build the bulk of my buildings by just doing mining? Normally I'll put in, as I'm building like a dwarf fortress or something like that. So if I find like an underwater cave, that's I'll put like a well over it, and that kind of helps me like figure out my layout normally. Normally that's how I'll do it, but this is a little bit different. These are all above surface buildings, above surface settlements, and so relying on the world generation to tell me where everything goes, it doesn't quite work the same. And so, I'm doing a lot more pre-planning simply because I kind of just need to. I need to for my own sanity, and the bigger these builds get, the harder it's going to be to keep track of where everything's supposed to go. And so just having a rough idea of what everything's going to look like all of the time is going to help me out a lot. The other nice opportunity that's going to come out of doing all this planning is it's going to give you a lot of opportunity to put some input in. Now, obviously, I can't get caught listening to every single idea that gets thrown at me. However, I do want to hear what you have to say. I do want to hear your thoughts. So if I say something like, "Oh, I think this is where like the docks should go," or "I think this is where this is where an apothecary shop should go," and if I'm trying to put it next to, say, a library, and you think that it fits better next to like a brewery or a wizard's tower or something like that, then let me know, and I'll definitely take that kind of stuff into consideration, because at the end of the day, this is I do want some of this to be fueled by your input. Wow, talk about empty. So this is what the village looks like after we clear all the houses. Well, this house is still there, but basically after we clear all of the buildings out that don't have villagers in them anymore. And so now I want to figure out, where do I want to start building stuff? Whoops. And I know one of the things that I want to build is a town center. And the town center that I'm going to build is going to be essentially the town center from Warcraft Orcs and Humans. And I think I want to build it in this space. It's going to be kind of a big building, and I think that's where I want this to go. So I know for a fact I want this building to have double doors. And I also know, well, I think I want it to be built on this level right here. So let's see here. If I want, I'm just gonna, I think that's going to be good enough as far as distance to the road, because then I can build steps up to the front doors, and I've got some room to do that. I wanted to have double doors. Then how much space do I want there to be on either side of the door? I think I want it to be, so what is that, 8 across? So then let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, when we get to this section here, how do I... Let's see. What if I did this kind of thing? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Where does it put us in relation to the... Oh, plenty of space. Okay. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then... yeah, I think this is the shape I want it to have. 7, 8. Now this puts me really close to this road, but this road doesn't go anywhere, and this road can be moved. Everything can be moved, so I'm not actually concerned about that. That's a thing that kind of... that's the thing that I let slow me down with the library a little bit, because I tried to build something that big when I was still kind of centering things off of how the town is already shaped. But now if we're going to be kind of remodeling everything, I'm not hampered by that really. Oh. Uh-oh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh. See, this is why... How rough would that have been if I had tried to do that and was building? That would have... Oh, man, that would have confused me a ton. Not a problem. This is why we plan. Yeah. Cool. And this will be kind of like a dominating building as far as the rest of the village is concerned, because this is huge. This is a huge footprint compared to everything else. Is it really a big building in the grand scheme of things? No. You know what? I think I actually want the double doors here. Yeah. I think I want that. So, no, this in the grand scheme of some of the stuff that we're going to be building, no, this is not a massive building. However, compared to everything else right now, this is big. So, oh yeah, look at all this. Cool, cool. Okay, so now I want to... The next couple things I'm going to plan are some houses. And as far as houses go, I want to... So we've got this house, and I feel like this is a relatively upper class house, right? This is this has like a dining room and a kitchen and a private bedroom with an anvil in the middle of it. So this is kind of, I would say this is kind of an upper class house, or at least like a upper middle class house. You've got your own kitchen, that's pretty snazzy. So, and we've already talked about a lower class house, which is the farmer's hut over here. So how do we think we want an even lower class house to look? And somewhere between this fisherman's hut and the first house we built. So I think those are the two houses we want to think of next. And I want to figure out, what is the floor plan? What is the footprint of this house? This house is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is in a square. Cool. Now the fisherman's hut was 7 across the front, 6 back. I think this is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I'm going to have a offset door. Like this. Yeah. So now for more of like a middle class house, I think I want to use 2 panels of this. So these are 7 across. Is it 7 by 7? It is. Okay, so I'm going to come over here. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. Uh-oh. Getting low on wool. And that's what we're marking everything out with. So what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think that's right. Right? 1, 2, 3, doorway. 1, 2, 3, doorway. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Does this need to shift over 1? I think it does. Come here, sheep. There we go. Just need your wool. Thank you. That's one of the next farms that I really need to get going. Is AFK. I guess it's an AFK. You don't have to be AFK. It's just like an automatic wool generating farm. A wool farm that you don't need to be near. So basically anything else that you're doing while you're doing it, it's just continuously shearing the sheep. Hello, I'm just gathering some wool. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Let me grab this last guy. And I'll grab this one over here. Hello. I'm here to relieve you of your wool. Thank you. Hello, yes. Thank you. Yeah, that should be fine. There. So this will be more of like a lower middle class kind of house. It'll probably have like a entryway with like a furnace for heat maybe back here, and then like a bedroom, and then over here we'll have a lower class house which will basically just have like a little tiny furnace for keeping it warm. You know what? I think what I want right here, this is going to be the front. I want a news bulletin, announcement bulletin. So I think it would just be kind of like a this kind of thing. Oof. Yeah, I think it'll just be like a little news bulletin. And then, actually, you know what? You know who does this? Mythical Sausage does something like this. He'll set up like a, what are all the things that I want to make sure get built in the town? Or even if you have like questions and stuff, like my thought process behind certain things, you can leave them in the comments and I can put them up here, and then as I go through and answer them and everything, I can like mark them answered. I think I like where this is going. I need to figure out what I want to put here. The trick is, maybe I could put a blacksmith here. So then I'll have to figure out what kind of house I want to go with the blacksmith. And maybe it'll be an upper middle class house, and it'll just kind of fit in here like that. It'll just kind of fit in here. Like the house maybe will go this direction, or maybe it could even change the angle and be like a long way, and then like the smithing area is over here. That's possible. I'll have to play around with that. I'll have to play around if that's where I want that to go. But again, you know, everything doesn't need to be. This village is to set up resource production and kind of just figure out how I want everything to look. And so if it isn't in a place that makes the most amount of sense, that's fine. It really is. Yeah. So I think for right now, I'm just going to worry about these 3 buildings. So this lowest class building over here, this lowest class house over here, this like lower middle class house, we've got this upper middle class house here, and then the town center. And this is going to be huge because this is going to be like, we're going to have a blast furnace in here, and I think ultimately I'm going to change the entrance to our underground stuff. And I think this hill will get turned into like a mine entrance. Like right here. Like it'll be like this kind of thing. And then I'll dig that out and work like a spiraling way down to get down into here, because this hill right here has to go. It's like a weird world generation thing. It's in kind of a bizarre spot. And then that hill has to go because it makes getting to the lumber camp kind of difficult. Maybe I'll put the blacksmith here. Maybe that's what it'll be. So there'll be like a big furnace kind of thing here, and then there'll be, maybe put the blacksmith over here. I'll have to play around with it. With the location of our new town center figured out, and the location and rough footprint ideas for some of the new houses we're going to be building, that is going to be it for today. I look forward to seeing you next time in the Lapis Kingdom. Have a great day.